This is a how to play tips and tricks for the air and fire deck in hexery. This deck has a lot of direct damage and destruction cards. Like Earth Scorch and Fire Spitters, they can do damage to your opponent's creatures directly without attacking, or destroy your opponent's lands, destroy your opponent's life. And with guys like the Wind Twister here, you can reactivate the guys, like your Fire Spitters, to use their abilities again. So let's start by creating a resource and ending our turn. It does have some big cards like the Tornado Elemental, but often these cards are more of a hindrance to yourself than anything else, though they can be a useful life-saving shield, because this will reduce all minions' attacks by 2. So if your opponent is creature rushing you, you can use this to basically make it so the creatures have no attack. You can just let them through if necessary. And we'll cast him out. On his own, this guy is fairly useless, but when paired with someone like the Fire Spitter, he can make a big difference. So let's just let that hit through so we can keep our guy on the field. We'll create a resource with this, and cast out a Fire Spitter. And we'll end our turn there. And we can activate his ability to deal 1 damage to any one creature, so we'll kill their combat medic. And still declaring no defending minions, so yes, we do take some more damage there. But now that we have our cards active, what we can do is use his ability on this, so it causes 1 damage, as you can see by the little hex up here. And then by using an air mana and exhausting this guy, we can reactivate him, so we can use his ability again to destroy the Spartan Unicorn, which is a 2/2, which is normally outside the range of this. Then we can cast out another one. And that's the end of our turn. Guys like this are something you use either early or when you're just about to win, because if you use this in the middle of a strategy like this, he will destroy your Wind Twisters, and that is not exactly what you want, because it basically just cripples your strategy. But he is one of the stronger creatures in this deck. This deck doesn't have a lot of good attackers. A lot of its damage is dealt more through creature abilities. So we'll create another resource here. Cast an Earth Scorch to destroy one of the resources. If you are using Earth Scorches in your deck, you should always try and focus down one color of resource or one type of resource instead of doing a balanced one between each, because if I can keep him from having any water mana, then basically half his deck is useless. And we'll use that on this. Use on that. And activate his ability here. Use him to take down that. This deck can control creatures like a boss. It can remove swaths of monsters or minions in a very short time. Now I have enough. I will send out this guy to form a blocker. And always be sure to target the biggest threat. It may not always be the strongest creature. Like, sometimes your opponent may have another Fire Spitter, and that would be a bigger threat than a 2/2. That would be a bigger threat than a 20/20. Well, actually, no, 20/20 would be a pretty big threat. But it's a bigger threat than a 3/3, 4/4, because without your Wind Twist, because it would target your Wind Twister, it'll always try and kill off something it can kill in one hit. So it'll target your Wind Twister, and then suddenly you're losing damage. And that is not what you want. And you can use him to defend that. We'll use an Earth Scorch to take out his other lake. We'll re-ready that, so we don't need it to do that. because as of current I can do 3 damage to minions. So I can kill 2/2, but I can just leave that like that. And just stay on the defensive for this turn, but soon we'll start making an offensive. Just block again. And we will use these two here for this guy. These two here for this guy. And we will artillery down his creatures. Then use this to activate and re-ready this guy. And he will kill off his last creature, and suddenly your opponent is unblocked and you have 6 creatures. No, you just get free shots at your opponent. And since they have lost quite a few resources, they can't do a lot. And let's just attack with everything we got. Another cool thing about the Wind Twister is after your creatures have attacked, you can use it to re-ready a stronger defender, like our 2/2, just in case your opponent has something that can attack. There it goes out. Let's see, we will cast out another Windswift Soldier, and we will take down their Angel. And since we want more attack damage, we can use these guys beforehand before you attack, and then attack with them all. This deck is really a matter of when and where you readjust your creatures. When you activate them, when you deactivate them. And this guy I just drew is the big guns of this deck. Because unlike these little fire spears which do 1 damage to target minion, this guy can do 2 damage to target player or target minion. But it does cost 1 fire to use his ability. But with this guy, you can start to really damage your opponent's creatures, especially when you can activate him multiple times per turn. Now, by spending on fire, you can activate his ability and kill our opponent like that. And that is a how to play tips and tricks for the Fire Air deck.